All right, everybody, here we come now, sort of the second half of our Acts of the Apostles. First 8 chapters dealing with the early church, Peter as the lead. Now we have the conversion of St. Paul. And then our focus now will be upon him, about his missionary work. But first and foremost, he has to have his conversion. So read chapter 9 in Acts. Saul, still breathing murderous threats against the disciples of the Lord, went to the high priest and asked him for letters to the synagogues in Damascus, that if he should find any man or woman who belonged to the way, he might bring them back to Jerusalem in chains. On his journey, as he was nearing Damascus, a light from the sky suddenly flashed around him. He fell to the ground and heard a voice saying to him, Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me? He said, Who are you, sir? The reply came, I am Jesus, whom you are persecuting. Now get up and go into the city, and you will be told what you must do. The men who were traveling with him stood speechless, for they heard the voice but could see no one. Saul got up from the ground, but when he opened his eyes, he could see nothing. So they led him by the hand and brought him to Damascus. For 3 days he was unable to see and neither ate or drank. There was a disciple in Damascus named Ananias, and the Lord said to him in a vision, Ananias, he answered, Here I am, Lord. The Lord said to him, Get up and go to the street called Straight, and ask at the house of Judas for a man from Tarsus named Saul. He is there praying. And in a vision he has seen a man named Ananias come in and lay hands on him, that he may regain his sight. But Ananias replied, Lord, I have heard from many sources about this man, what evil things he has done to your holy ones in Jerusalem. And he has authority from the chief priests to imprison all who call upon your name. But the Lord said to him, Go, for this man is a chosen instrument of mine to carry my name before Gentiles, kings and children of Israel. And I will show him what he will have to suffer for my name. So Ananias went and entered the house, laying his hands on him and said, Saul, my brother, the Lord has sent me, Jesus, who appeared to you on the way by which you came, that you may regain your sight and be filled with the Holy Spirit. Immediately things like scales fell from his eyes. He regained his sight. He got up, was baptized, and when he eaten, he recovered his strength. And that's the word of the Lord. Incredible. I know the great narrations in the Bible, the birth of Christ, the resurrection, the Annunciation to the Blessed Mother, but I think few can really outdo this conversion of St. Paul. It's amazing. Here he is breathing fury, threats against the Christians, want to round them up, put them in chains, to arrest them, and most likely be put to death, so he have a hand in that. So he's on his way, and then he's knocked down, and he's blinded, and he hears the Lord speak to him. Wow. It's incredible. And what I like also, remember those old Western movies, with that little phrase they come across would say, meanwhile, back at the ranch, remember? Like, but this is going on, but meanwhile, back at the ranch. And this is why I find the same thing happen here. Meanwhile, back at Damascus, there's Ananias. And he has the Lord speak to him and tell him that he wants him to go and lay his hands and pray over and heal Paul. Now, I know about you, but if the Lord spoke to me, I would think, yes, sir, yes, Lord, on my way. But he says, well, Lord, this man, there's some terrible things about this man, but the things he wants to do. I would think God knows what's going on. I don't think he needs to be informed by you. I think God who knows everything. But he actually was saying, no, you don't say, I would never. But he did. But he goes. And Paul sees him, right? That this man will come, and sure enough, that's what happens. He prays over him, his eyes are open, he's baptized on his way. I know there's so much here, but I want to also point about Ananias. He had played a big role in the great conversion of St. Paul, the greatest missionary the church has ever had. His role was what? To come, to pray over him. And then Ananias is heard of no more. He's gone. He did his role. No longer, speak about Ananias. Just he fulfilled what he had to do. Simply go and pray over somebody. So it just says so many different things. We may not be a St. Paul. Maybe we're an Ananias. Maybe we have a little role to play. Maybe once our role is done, we're forgotten about. No one talks about us, and we're, just another person. So whatever it may be, how God may use you, your role. You don't have to be the best, the biggest, the most famous. Just do what God asks of you, and God will use you to be a blessing perhaps you bless somebody, and that person will be a great blessing to others as well. God bless you.